It Came from the Desert is a really strange game. It was made for the actual Sega Genesis, but then it was never released. The only way I'm playing this is because they released the ROM of the actual game later on. But this isn't like a hack. This was actually going to be a game. It starts off as like something happens and then these mutant ants come out of the desert and you have to fight them. It's very hard. And that's what makes this a really, really bad game. And the graphics are great and the controls are so good. It's just such a shame that they made the game so incredibly hard. I think one of the reasons, probably the only reason it wasn't released, is because of just how goddamn hard it is. Like, you're thrown into the game and there are these, like, ants climbing under the sand. And if you don't go the right exact way from the beginning, you will be trapped. Like right now, I'm trapped. There's nowhere to go. I have no idea. You know, I went right, and apparently, even though I started walking forward right away, there's just nowhere to go if you don't go the exact correct way from the beginning. Let's go forward now. Again, we're starting right away. We're pushing to the action, but there is trial and error involved. That's probably one of the main reasons. It's that and just a whole swarm of enemies all around you. But the main problem this game is so incredibly difficult is because it's trial and error. Games like this shouldn't be trial and error. There should be a way out of every situation. Sometimes you just get stuck. This is the third way to go, to the left, and this is actually the correct way. The second the game starts, just turn left and walk from the left. This way you can kind of just inch your way with just a little life left to the guy waiting at the end there, and some kind of professor. You talk to him a little bit, and then you're thrown into the next level, which is just as goddamn difficult. This game is just unforgiving. And like I said, it's such a shame that a game with so much potential could be just so incredibly bad because of how incredibly hard it is. I can't emphasize enough how unforgiving this game is. I mean, you start the next level with as much health as you had at the end of the first level. That's unheard of, especially in a hard game like this. And get this, I mean, a lot of you have probably seen my review of Space Ace, right? That game, you kind of expect there to be trial and error, because that kind of game is in the genre of trial and error. This is a scrolling shooter. Scrolling shooters shouldn't have trial and error. It's non-stop action, and there should be a way out of every single situation, provided you have the twitch-fast reflexes to find your way out of the situation. And that's just not the way it is. I literally have to stand around here and kill these ants until I refill my health bar, because I can't progress in the game unless I have full health, because it's just so goddamn hard. And of course, this itself is really hard because these ants just swarm you. But thankfully, they don't go any further than this fence. I don't know why. That's just whatever. After we break the fence, this is basically where you stop playing the game, because this is where the boss, quote-unquote, is. And once you reach the boss, it's just a hassle. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. But first, we actually have to get through this thing, because even getting to the boss is a hassle. You have to know the patterns of the ants to get to the boss. You have to know the pattern of jumping over the little sand tunnels to get to the boss. Forget even killing the ants. You just have to know patterns. Look at this. I'm just getting swarmed. There's no way you could do this without knowing the patterns. There's just no way. And that's inexcusable. Games shouldn't be like that. You should be able to, like I said, you should be able to beat the game if you're really good without having to memorize things and replaying things over and over. And a game where there's a pattern that you have to follow and there's trial and error involved, I could actually see that being pretty good, or at least somewhat playable, if it had infinite lives. This game does not have infinite lives. How do I know that? Where are the lives on the screen? Where they're nowhere to be seen. You would think the game has infinite lives, but alas, it doesn't. After a few times playing and dying, you are brought back to the beginning of the game. I don't know why, I don't know where you could see where your lives are, that's just the way it is. You talk to this guy who's supposedly your father, but he's actually some kind of queen ant thing. And this is actually footage of me the first time I played it, and I'm standing right next to him, as you saw there. and I had no idea he would turn into a giant ant. So the second you're thrown into combat, you're standing right next to him, and he literally siphons your life as you're just standing there. How unfair is that? At least put your sprite away from the enemy sprite so you're not standing right on him. I want you to see a replay of that, because that's just that's a disgusting tactic. That's like the programmers laughing at you. Insta replay for those who didn't see it. I'm standing right on the enemy sprite. It pushes you into the game and you die a second later. That's ridiculous. Alright, so we're going back to the goddamn boss, I guess, of the level, if you can call it a boss. I call it the end of the game, because after you kill the boss, you don't know what the fuck to do. Nor do you really care. After a few times, just repeating the same thing over and over and having no success just for how hard everything is, you just give up. You have to give up. There's nothing else to do. Here we go. We're going back to that boss. I'm gonna skip a little bit. You see, we skipped right to where the boss is. So we just gotta get to that, like, I guess, queen ant that can transform into your father. I don't even know how they have that power. But, okay, there. Talk to him, and I gotta walk away. Walking away, and I shoot. Shoot, walk away. Okay, where am I going? Jesus Christ. It's like he's going almost as fast as me, and those ants, they are going as fast as me. There, I killed him, but it's like then I get swarmed by the ants, and it's like, oh my god, if it's not one thing, it's another. There's no escape. It's purgatory. It's video game purgatory. No wonder you were never released. You're so incredibly hard. Okay, back to the game. Just relax. Here we go. We can do this. I guess that pattern worked, where you walk away from the boss, but then right after you kill the boss, you have to kill all the other ants that are just swarming you and gangbanging you. Yeah, that didn't even work. I mean, I don't even know what happened there. Like, Twitch fast death. Like, literally, that was less than a second. I had a good deal of life, and just 0.2 of a second after I'm thrown into the boss fight, I'm dead. There's absolutely, that's just bad programming. When imagine you start off a Mega Man boss with Mega Man standing in like a tiny little cage with the boss, and they're just stuck in there, and if you don't move right away, you're just dead right away. It's ridiculous. Here we go. Okay. Back away a little bit. Killing the ants. Back away. Shoot the. Is he really an ant? I mean, he looks more like the swamp monster than an ant. It's like your dad turns into the swamp monster. I gotta save here. I mean, that's unbelievable. But again, when I played this before, I don't know where to go. Like, let's do this right now. Where do I go? I don't know. Well, just rationally speaking, after you kill the boss, you just follow the way that you weren't before. Like, we go this way because this is the exact opposite of where we came from, and you progress onto the next stage. But no, you don't do that. You have to go back, but that doesn't make any sense. Where do you go back to? The road that you started on? Why would you go back there? It's covered in ants! There's ants in my pants, in my head, and I can't do this anymore. And I don't even know how many lives do we have left. Is this basically the last life? A game that's so hard, and a game that requires trial and error, and it's like a major difficulty, and it has like only like 7 or 8 or 9 lives? Fuck, even 50 lives wouldn't be enough for this game. It has to be unlimited continues. Final verdict. I'm thrown back to the beginning, as you see. This game is unbelievably hard, unforgiving, unrelenting, and unbelievably insane in terms of difficulty. And of course, you don't have unlimited continues, which makes it just basically unplayable. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends. Try this out for yourself. You'll see how annoying it is. Bye.